So hello students, we will continue with the same chapter, that is why do we fall ill. So in the previous class we discussed about the infectious and the non-infectious disease. So please open page number 179. So you all know that there are two types of diseases, infectious diseases and here non-infectious diseases. So infectious diseases are caused by microorganisms or microbes, and these microbes, they multiply very fast and they spread everywhere. So the diseases which is caused by these agents also spread. Now you know that the infectious agents are, you can see here, the microbes, they are divided into 4 groups. What are those 4 groups? You know, bacteria, virus, protozoa, algae, and these are the 4 groups of microbes. Okay, now these bacteria, virus, protozoa, algae and fungi, they are the 5 different group of microbes. Now all the bacteria, they will have some common characteristics, all the viruses will have some common characteristics, and same with the protozoa, algae and the fungi, but the characteristics of bacteria and viruses are not similar. I hope you have understood. So now the viruses, you know that viruses, they are non-living outside, only inside the house they reproduces. Okay, now you know that all these, that is bacteria, virus, protozoa, algae and fungi, what are these? These all are microbes, but they all are not similar. Okay, they have some different characteristics. Like virus is a non-living outside, but bacteria is not a non-living outside. Virus, it lives, it reproduces inside the host. Now you can see here, so these are the organisms, microbes, which causing the diseases. Now please underline, common examples of diseases caused by viruses are, what are those? Common cold, influenza, dengue fever and AIDS. Okay, so they are caused by the viruses. So AIDS and dengue fever, they are the viral diseases. Diseases like typhoid, fever, cholera, tuberculosis and anthrax are caused by bacteria. Please underline, many common skin infections are caused by different kinds of fungi. Protozoans, microbes, cause many familiar diseases such as malaria and Kala Azar. All of us have also come across intestinal worms infections as well as diseases like elephantitis caused by different species of worms. So they are here they are telling you, or they are giving you the examples of the diseases which is caused by different microbes. So please underline it. Now students, why it is important that we think of these categories of infectious agents? Now the thing is this, why these infectious agents are so important, like why we think about them or why we want to know about the life processes. All these microbes, like there are 5 different group of microbes. Okay, and these microbes, they have different life processes. Okay, so now why we are so much interested in knowing the different biochemical pathways or life processes? They have different life processes means that definitely they need food, they undergo respiration, they excrete. Okay, but other than that, they have some additional important features or additional important biochemical pathways or processes. Understood? But they are different from each other. Like bacteria, viruses, algae, fungi and protozoans, they undergo life processes which other organisms also undergo, but additionally they may have some other life processes, or they may have some other processes also. Like bacteria has a cell wall. Okay, so it has some process which is used to synthesize the cell wall. So some processes, some special features these microbes have which others they don't have. Okay, now why it is important that we think of these categories of infectious agents? The answer is that these categories are important factors in deciding what kind of treatment is to use. Now, actually, why it's important? Now, you know, these microbes, different microbes, they cause different type of diseases. Okay, now why it is important to know about these microbes, to know about the different processes or some important features, because once the disease is diagnosed, once the causative organism of the disease is known, like which organism or which microbe has caused the disease. Okay, we are talking about the infectious diseases, and infectious diseases are caused by these infectious agents, the microbes. So once the disease is diagnosed, once it is diagnosed, or once it is known that the particular disease is caused by this microbe, let us say bacteria, okay, then we have to know the different processes in it. Okay, so that what happens when one can start, or doctor can start the treatment. I hope it's clear. So once the cause of the disease is known, or once it's known that which microbe or group of microbes has caused the disease, then the treatment is given. So in order to give the treatment, it's very important to know the life processes or different type of processes of the microbes. Okay, you will understand it a bit better now. All viruses, for example, live inside host cells, whereas bacteria very rarely do. Viruses, bacteria and fungi multiply very quickly, while worms multiply very slowly in comparison. Taxonomically, all bacteria are closely related to each other than the viruses, and vice versa. This means that many important life processes, okay, are similar to the bacteria group but are not shared by the virus groups. All as a result, drug that block any one of the life processes in one member of the group is likely to be effective against many other members of the group, but some drugs will not work against the microbe belonging to the different group. So it's very simple. Like just now I told you, the viruses, they are living inside the host, whereas bacteria doesn't live. Okay, now all the processes of bacteria, the life processes, you can say, and all the now, like suppose this is the bacteria. Okay, so bacteria must they have different species, or you can say that all the bacteria, they have the same life processes, more or less they have the same life processes. And viruses, all the viruses, they have the same life processes, or they have the same processes. So the processes, life processes, or the processes of bacteria is different from the viruses. Okay, now in bacteria, if, and I told you that all the organ system, all the life processes are interrelated, like excretion is a life process, respiration is a life process, so they are interrelated. So if any life process of a bacteria is blocked, what will happen? It will affect life processes, bacteria may die, or if it doesn't affect other life processes also, then also a bacteria may die. So now all the bacteria, if that particular life process can be blocked, because all the bacteria, they have the same life process. So in all the bacteria, that not all, you can say in most of the bacteria, that the life process can be blocked. Understood? But that life process may or may not happen in the viruses. Understood? Okay, because all the bacteria are closely related, so in all the bacteria that life process can be blocked, but it cannot happen in viruses, because viruses and bacterial life processes are different. Understood? Now, for example, if anyone has a infection caused by bacteria, and suppose that infection is diagnosed, because suppose someone is having an bacterial infection, that person will have symptoms or develop some signs, will go to doctor will get some rough idea and may ask for some lab tests, and by which the disease is diagnosed. And once the disease is diagnosed, the cause cause of the disease is known, then what is the another step? To treat the disease. So suppose if anyone is having bacterial infection, will go to doctor will ask for lab test, and at last the disease is diagnosed, that a particular disease is caused by bacteria. Now what doctor will do? Doctor will give the antibiotics. Now what antibiotics does? Now suppose this bacteria has a cell wall. Okay, now which protects the bacteria from external environment. Now if any now there are many bacteria, all the bacteria are not harmful, all the microbes are not harmful. Now also there must be so many bacteria, but they are not harmful. There are certain species of bacteria which can cause, or there are certain species of microbes which can cause the disease, not all. Okay, so now what happens, suppose if any disease is caused by a bacteria, next step is the treatment. Doctor will give you antibiotic. Now what this antibiotic does, now bacteria has a cell wall and bacteria has a process. There is some biochemical pathway or the process which helps in the manufacture of, or which helps in the synthesis of cell wall. Okay, now antibiotics are given. Okay, now if a person is having some bacterial disease, what will happen, that person will have bacteria in the body, and then when the antibiotic is given, what will happen, that antibiotic will block the pathway or will block the process which helps in the synthesis of cell wall. Okay, and definitely the cell wall is not made and bacteria will die. And when all the bacteria in the body of a host will die, a person will be free from the disease. But that antibiotic does not affect human cells. Now the question is this, that antibiotic may be harmful to humans also, but that antibiotic does not affect humans, because human cell doesn't have a cell wall. Understood? But students, that antibiotic, as most of the bacteria have the same life processes, so that antibiotic can be used in some of the bacterial disease. Okay, now but that antibiotic cannot be used for the viruses, because viruses, they do not have a cell wall, they do not synthesize the cell wall. So if anyone is having some viral infection, means if in the body, if there are a large number of viruses, then antibiotic is not effective, because that antibiotic will not stop the growth of viruses, or it will not harm virus, because viruses, they do not manufacture or they do not synthesize cell wall. But sometimes sometimes antibiotics are given in some of the viral diseases, like if anyone suffers from cold, or anyone is having viral infection, cold and all. So after 2-3 days, sometimes the antibiotic is given. That antibiotics is not given to kill the virus, but sometimes during that viral infection, bacterial infection also develops, and then the antibiotic is given, and then that antibiotic kills only the bacteria but not the virus. It doesn't treat the main cause, that virus, but during that cold, cough or viral infection, a person may have a bacterial infection also. I hope it's clear. So we will do till here only. Next we will do in next class. Thank you students. Have a nice day.